My name is Chuck Burles. I'm here today for Great Expectations. As it turns out, KB Homes is knocking, so we ought to be listening. And that's what I'm here to find out today, and I'm looking forward to it.
My name is Darren Prue. Welcome to the 2013 Association meeting.
This is where you need to be. Why? Because this is where you find out what's going on. So we got a little sneak peek this morning of a bid. Now we've got a bid. There's a bid for land banks 1 through 7 from KB Homes, and we're going to get a little details on that a little bit later today. For the rest of us that aren't in those land banks, it's very encouraging because this is really the beginning of why we've all invested. It's also great because we had our region analyst giving us our expectations for the year and the next couple of years. So we're getting updated on the economy, on what's going on in the Antelope Valley, and if you're not here, you don't get this information, and it's so much easier to understand your investment when you understand all the little details that are going on behind the scenes. So I certainly encourage you to come. It's a great day. I mean, it's your investment. Get active in it. Find out what's going on, and we're all in here for the big payoff in the end. So I definitely encourage you to come.
And at the very interesting part of the meeting, we had somebody talk about the economy in California, the economy in Antelope Valley, and also in the nation, and provided some very, very interesting statistics. That part of the presentation was quite fascinating.
It's been going well so far. We've got good information from Mark Schnapp, the economist, that showed things are promising, that the economy is improving, and he expects next year a significant improvement. And so we may possibly have sold some land by next year. But it's very good to come to these meetings to stay abreast of what's going on and see where you can make profit from your land.
We did a lot this year to try and increase attendance, including raffle tickets. We had a land bank owner that's a member of the board make the suggestion. What do you have?
I've got the Mr. Coffee Iced Cafe.
It starts with a 2. 2, 1, 2, 7. 2, 1, 2, 7. Right over here. With all land bank interests or land bank projects represented by the proper amount of quorum, we can now conduct business. Let me go to our most asked questions. When can the property be sold? There's only 2 kinds of buyers: investors and end users. If you would like to sell today, there is a board listed in the other room of people that would like to sell. You can say, you can write on the form, I want to sell my land bank interest in land bank 027, make an offer, stick it on the board. You can also go to our website, and if you haven't been, please go, landresourcemanagement.com. There you can post your land bank interest for sale. You can say on the website, I would like to sell my land bank interest, and I want cash. You could also say, I will sell my land bank interest and I will take a down payment and monthly payments. You could also say, I will trade for a motorhome. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. That is how you would sell today. Ultimately, the property is sold to a builder or developer, an end user. I've had people say, no, let's sell the whole property today to a builder. Well, if a builder's not interested, that's not going to work. But you can always sell your individual interest anytime you want. There's a logical question. It's coming up next. Why do I have to pay annual dues? What do the annual dues pay for? Let's talk about that. The annual dues pay for property taxes, this meeting, accounting, bookkeeping, legal services, association management, maintenance, weed removal. This year we had a house that is situated on Land Bank 034 that needed to be torn down. Typically, or if somebody dumped an automobile on the property, which could happen, or a pile of trash, this portion of the budget is used for that. We contacted the farming company, Bolthouse Farms, and asked them if they would tear the building down, and they did. Postage, the newsletter you get. If you're not getting a newsletter, it's because we don't have your email address. What's my property worth? Good question. If you are selling it to another investor, remember there's only two people that buy property. If you're selling it to somebody else that's in this room, they are going to offer you as little as they can to get you to sell, logically. If we're selling to a builder or developer, an end user, it is a different number. Land has a unique value. Land value to a builder or developer, somebody that is going to build on the property, goes from very valuable to almost worthless when the market changes. When there's property to be built on and home builders are building houses, pre-development land has a lot of value. When no houses are selling, they're not interested in buying. And so the value goes down. Then the value is only open, or the purchase would only be possible to another investor.
Okay. We talked a little bit already, but you've just brought these numbers forth for Land Bank 3 being engineered, and 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 be non-engineered. The engineer offer came at $30K per lot, and the non-engineer was $15K. Now, I'm not one of these properties, but I am in 10 and 08. And so I guess I'm looking at, logically, as an investment, it would be best for us owners to look at engineering the property ourselves, because we're going to get a higher investment of return. So I think that's something that owners need to take into consideration. And then how do we go about this process?
Right. Good question. I'll speak to that. Picture, if you're in Land Bank 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, we have an offer from KB Home. Doesn't mean you're going to take the offer, but let me just give it to you. It's $15,000 a lot. And they are going to engineer it and spend about $1 million. Well, there are 500-ish owners. So if they were going to spend $1 million, how much is that per owner? $2,000, right? $2,000. No. 2,000. So if your property's worth $15,000 a lot right now, and we went to the 500 owners and we said to the 500 owners, everybody come up with $2,000, and that made it worth $30,000, that might be smart and wise. That isn't up to me. Although I will tell you, we did that in Land Bank 3, and it was difficult. It was difficult because some people didn't have the money. Some people were suspicious. Some people didn't understand the process. Some people, it's not their industry. And so because it's not their industry, they were confused. Rightfully so. If you talk about computers or the medical industry, I know nothing about a medical. I don't know anything. So everybody is smart in their area of education and study. So it makes it a little more difficult. I also acted as the manager and collected all the money from everybody and then hired the engineer. I would not do that again. There would have to be somebody else hired to do that. It could be done. The problem would be, some people go, I don't have $2,000. I'm current on my dues, but I don't have $2,000. So it complicates things a little bit. It also, we could engineer it and miss the market, like we did in Land Bank 3. Land Bank 3 should have sold in about 2006, and it didn't. And now it's 2013, and it's selling again. And the offer, we have an offer on the table, which is less than I think we could have sold it for in 2006. So we missed the market. So there's some pluses and minuses, and as I was speaking a little while ago and saying I don't know anything about the medical industry, I would go to a doctor to understand that. I don't practice law, I would go to an attorney. When it comes to this, I really know what I'm talking about, but I only have one little teeny vote. I will counsel the group, and it's up to the group. The group has the authority. 60% decide to engineer the property and wait. That's what's going to happen. It's up to the group. Next question.
My name is Joseph Sia, Land Bank 5 and Land Bank 034. All these years, I just want to personally thank you, the Land Resource Management, for all the hard work that you've been doing to us. Thank you.
You don't know how much that means. We really try hard, and you saying that really means a lot. I appreciate you, Joseph.
Hey, thank you. Larry Samaron. And my question goes back to, I guess, future growth. And Dr. Snipes, the economist, stated in his discussion earlier that there were 7,000 new homes will be needed in the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And my question is, how many homes are usually built on an acre? And what is the total of all the land bank's acreage? And how does that fit into the 7,000 homes that are projected?
Yeah, great question. Land Bank 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will accommodate about 800 homes. Land Bank 3 has 78 homes. The other land banks, Land Bank 8, 9, 10, 11, 033, 034, 027, 073, Land Bank 11 is about 400 acres. That's about 1,200 houses. Land Bank 008, Land Bank 1011 is 120 acres, 120 times 4. So that is, someone should figure that out real quick, about 480 houses. So we could fill a portion of the demand and need, but not enough.
Last year we talked about the U.S. and California a little bit, just to sort of set the stage for the Antelope Valley. So I want to do the same thing today. I want to assure you that the economy is only getting a little stronger now. And in the past couple of years, there's been all these fears about a double-dip recession or weakening or whatever the case may be. Well, that hasn't occurred. And it's not likely to occur with even less probability over the next year or two, certainly. So okay, here's monthly job numbers, monthly job creation in the U.S. And going back 35 months, we've created about 6.2 million jobs consecutively here. Now, we haven't quite made up all of the decline that we saw during the Great Recession, but we're getting there. We'll be there by 2015. Everything is getting a little bit stronger. Let me give you the summary. Economic growth stepping up from 2% that we've seen this year and last year to 3% next year. Not great, but certainly better than what we've seen in the last 4 years. Interest rates are normalizing. Employment will continue to moderate, but it will occur along the lines of lowering the unemployment rate slowly over time. Housing rebound will continue, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And inflation is going to increase a little bit.
Gerard, when a question on the housing starts, how much of that will be multifamily versus single family?
Well, in the state, a lot of it's in the coastal areas. Most of it's multifamily right now. You know, when you look, in fact, I looked at Orange County and San Diego County just this last week, and they are at near record levels for the last 10 years in permitting multifamily or apartments, because of that 20-something demographic is at an all-time high. And so we're seeing at least, you know, recent local record levels of apartments being permitted right now. In Antelope Valley, you'll see some that'll keep things very affordable, but there's lots of room to move. And so you're basically going to see single-family homes in the Antelope Valley.
I want to know, since with the federal government's big footprint in the Antelope Valley, have the effects of the federal government sequestration been fully realized in your model? And what do you see in the future in terms of the funding situation in the Antelope Valley from the federal government?
Right. The federal government, which I didn't show here at all, I just showed you state and local government. Federal government had also downsized, although we didn't see much downsizing in federal government. We're talking about Edwards Air Force Base, China Lake in Ridgecrest, those big operations, the stuff in Mojave, which is just over the border into Kern County. We haven't seen much effect of sequestration in those areas. Sequestration has really impacted things like the Army band, the band that goes out and plays at parades, the hours of national parks and certain rangers, the White House tours. The real critical stuff, sequestration does not appear to be affecting too much. It's supposed to in the future a little bit, but not that, and particularly not with respect to real critical operations like Edwards and China Lake.
How much of the Edwards or the private sector, like these startup aeronautical, how much effect does that have on Antelope Valley as far as population and in living in that area and working up there at the old air base? Well, still active Edwards.
A diminishing one. Okay, because it used to have a much bigger effect, and that's what the area why the area grew, because of Edwards for the most part, and it became a bedroom community to the San Fernando Valley. This is because you could build, but a lot of those conditions have changed because of the stagnation in overall buildup of Edwards, and for that matter, the Ridgecrest area. Mojave Airport, however, is very high tech, and it continues to grow, and it's got thousands of jobs there of good high-tech and high-paying technicians. And that doesn't look like that's going to change much at all. They do a lot of retrofit of aircraft there. And the activity just continues to increase.
Do you see any specific companies or other industries that will come in similar to how we have Google, Mountain View, and Facebook and Menlo Park? You need something big that would actually grow the whole area, since the military and whatnot has decreased.
Right, research campus type firms. That's hard to anticipate. You know, just very difficult to anticipate. I haven't seen much of that in the past there. Don't know if it really can happen. I think that if there are some changes regarding redeployments, and Edwards is used in a much more intense fashion, then yeah, I think you'll see a lot more recruitment of technological firms that get closer, contractors, things like that. But Google caters to a particular type of lifestyle, young people in their 20s, 30s, and I don't think the Antelope Valley is going to be suitable for that demographic.
Doctor, I noticed one thing that I want to ask you about. You showed the difference in pricing between the Antelope Valley and Santa Clarita. I believe it was $260,000. I have been, I have friends that have been building homes in the Antelope Valley for years. They always said that when the price difference was about $100,000, keep in mind Santa Clarita is 30 minutes away. So if you drive 30 minutes further, you can save $260,000. I know you're looking for that slide. Any comment to that? The idea that it's $260,000 more expensive, 260, there it is. That's a big, big gap.
It is a big gap. Here, let me put them all up here. Yeah, Santa Clarita is about 30, 40 minutes. Although now with the Crosstown Valley connector that's finished, it's quicker to get to the Antelope Valley from Santa Clarita. So plus there's a little bit better climate. Quality of life maybe is slightly better in the Santa Clarita Valley. It's still a ways away from, and it's quicker to get into the valley. So there is this premium that you're paying for Santa Clarita because it's a little bit closer to the job centers and everything like that, and it doesn't quite have the same climate issues. But nevertheless, it's a huge savings. That's right. There's a huge differential. And that differential existed back during the bubble as well.
Do you know what the difference was between Santa Clarita then and Antelope Valley prices then?
Yeah, Santa Clarita was running at about 600,000, and Antelope Valley was at around 350. So it was about the same. The differential really hasn't changed too much, and it probably will get a little bit higher. But you're right. I mean, in all these cases, this makes Antelope Valley, Kern County, and other places in California very, very affordable places to move. And since you cannot build in coastal California anymore, I mean, this is where California can expand. Last year, I talked about California and how its population pressures are going to be with us for the next 5-6 years. Where are these people going to live? Where are they going to live? They're going to live in areas where there's land.
I thought the meeting went very well. Looks very promising that there's been offers from KB Homes. A lot of questions have been answered with the economist. Overall, I think that we did a wise investment.
This meeting's over. Thank you.